Hello, hi.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Abhishek Mankuskar. Today we have Shubham Bhaiya with us, the famous Shubham Bhaiya, DevOps Wale Bhaiya. Thank you, Shubham Bhaiya, for joining with us for this amazing session. Uh, Shortly introducing about Shubham Bhaiya, you must be knowing, but yes, he is experienced in DevOps, Python, AWS, and he has almost helped a lot of students to learn in the field of DevOps and help them to get jobs in this field. So it's glad to have you with us in SWAC. So let's start with the session, sir.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. I am really happy to be back in SWOC. It's really nice to have everyone here. Superb. So first of all, let me see some comments in the chat. If you are able to hear me, तो फटाफट मुझको कमेंट में बता दो. If you are able to hear me, if you can see me, if yes, just let me know in the chat.
Just let me ping once more on our Discord.
Awesome. Superb.
Okay, I guess students are joining. We have pinged up on the Discord.
Nice. Once people have joined, let's get started.
Okay, okay, sure. Okay, so yes.
Okay. So yes, the topic for today is career in DevOps and cloud in the era of artificial intelligence. Now, DevOps and cloud, these have been, a buzzword since a long time. And artificial
Mhm.
intelligence, chat GPT, generative AI, Bard, these things are, coming along and they have been making a buzz around the world. Now, how does someone make a career in DevOps and cloud when there are tools like ChatGPT, when there are things happening around the world? How does one make a career in this? So, this would be the topic of today's session. And I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot of students joining who have their ambitions to go into cloud, to go into DevOps, to explore opportunities. But again, they have these fears saying that, oh, will AI take my job? Will I be, will I be, stuck in my jobs, and or will I be laid off from my current job? So there are a lot of things happening. So we will be addressing all of these things. But before going forward to artificial intelligence, first let's just forget for a minute that there are any chat GPT or there are any kind of AI tools, and let's try to focus on the thing which we have in hand, which is career in DevOps, career in cloud. How will I make a career in DevOps and cloud? So first of all, to understand that, you have to understand what is DevOps, why you are learning DevOps, how you can make a career in that. Okay. So, what is DevOps? If you take a simple definition, if you break down Dev and Ops, Dev is basically development side, Ops is basically operations side. Okay. So, DevOps. When the development teams and the operations teams combinedly work together, that's basically DevOps. Now you must be thinking, dev, I know, development, but ops, what is operations? When I say operation, it means whenever you have to publish or you have to release any code to the production, that whole team who works, that when your application is deployed to production, it is scaled, it is going to the customer, that is your operations team. So this DevOps is a culture in which development and operation teams work together, and that role is basically DevOps engineer. Okay, now Anurag says that how a fresher can get jobs in DevOps. So
Right.
in this session we will be, talking more about that, how we will be getting jobs, what are the career opportunities and things like that. Now question comes, why are we learning this? Why are we learning DevOps? First of all, how many of you saw India Pakistan match the other day? And if you did, just drop in the chat who won, जिससे कि the one who did not watch the match, they got get to know who was the winner. So there was, the World Cup is going on, really interesting match between India Pakistan. uh, I wanted to watch that match, and I thought that I'll watch that match after 6 p.m. but India ने तब तक निपटा दिया था, so I could not
Right.
watch the match. So yeah.
Mhm.
So basically, when I started watching the match, it was 3.5 crore people watching live. Now, how does that happen? How does that happen? How does 3.5 crore people watch something live and the platform is not breaking? If I share my application, my laptop application to my 10 friends, my laptop will crash because of the load.
Mm.
But how does 3.5 crore people watch live? So that needs tools, that needs practices, that needs infrastructure, that needs DevOps, cloud. So that's why you have to understand that this scalability infrastructure is something which is very important. Okay, it's very, very important in the coming times, it's in current times, because everyone wants quick results, everyone wants scale, everyone wants things in bulk, everyone wants fast deployment. So that's why we are learning
Mhm.
DevOps, because it reduces the time to market. If I have developed an application, it should be reaching the end user or the customer in less time. That's why we are learning DevOps. Now the question comes, how can I become one? Okay,
Right.
Abhishek, there's a lot of noise from your side, I think. Yeah. How can I become one? So how can one become a DevOps engineer? So if you see in front of me the slide which is on the screen, there are a few tools, there are a few symbols, logos which are there on the slide. Can anyone name any of the logo? Any of the logo. So Anurag says, what are some readily available tools or resources that can help professional kickstart their journey in this field? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Anurag, these are the tools and readily available resources tools which will help you become a better DevOps engineer. So the top one which you see right here, it's called Jenkins. Okay, this here is Kubernetes, AWS Cloud, Docker, Ansible, Terraform, GitHub. So it's very interesting to see that there are already open source tools which are helping you to become a better DevOps engineer. So how to become a DevOps engineer is to master how does your application is coming from GitHub, getting built, getting scaled, getting automated, and getting deployed to AWS cloud. So you have to think about that, you have to understand those tools. Okay, but once you understand those tools, what will happen? Once you understand those tools, you will be opening gates to a lot of career opportunities. Now when I say career opportunities, there are two types of opportunities that come along. One are in MNCs and the other are in small or mid-sized startups. Now, both startups and MNCs have DevOps and cloud jobs. Okay. But the thing is, there are pros and cons of both. If you go for an MNC, you will get a job security, you will get stability, you will find the work less hectic. But for DevOps, the opportunities in MNCs are lesser. So there are a lot of people who says that भैया fresher के लिए job नहीं है DevOps. There are no jobs for freshers in DevOps. But that's not true. That is only true for MNCs. If you see MNCs, they will ask you for 3 years of experience, 4 years of experience. But then what will freshers do? Freshers can apply on the other hand where you have startups, mid-sized companies. So in mid-sized companies, startups, there are opportunities for freshers, and I think they are best for the freshers. They give you good salaries, they give you good growth, they give you a lot of flexibility. I am working in a startup. I started my career in a startup. I started learning development, DevOps, a lot of things, databases. So all these things helped a lot in my journey. So that's why I'm saying that there are a lot of openings for freshers in DevOps, but generally it comes in small and mid-sized companies or startups. And obviously, one should know that whenever you go into a startup, you have long working hours, you have high risk but high return. The salary packages is good, the learning curve which you will get, it's really good. So yeah, that's why I have this slide with you, that there are a lot of career opportunities, there are a lot of things happening, but you have to make the right choice, and you don't have to go with the crowd says that freshers does not have DevOps job. It's not true. In startups, in mid-size, there are a lot of DevOps jobs. But bhaiya, how to get that DevOps job? So I have basically created a roadmap for you, which is broken down into 3 phases: phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Now, what is this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? So, in order to become a DevOps engineer, you have to understand that applications which are deployed, you as a DevOps engineer, which the application that you will deploy, that will need some knowledge of DevOps. So, you should be knowing what is infrastructure, what is scalability, what is monitoring, what is observability. You have to understand all these concepts. Once you understand these concepts, then understand that these applications are running on some kind of servers, some kind of operating systems. And the operating system which is most widely used is Linux. So in order to become a DevOps engineer, it's very, very important to learn Linux. Okay. So learning Linux is the first step of becoming a DevOps engineer, because many of you must be on their Windows machine, learning Windows, doing a lot of Windows stuff. But trust me, 91%, more than 90% of the applications are running on Linux. So that is why very important to understand Linux. Once you understand Linux, you should be knowing that a DevOps engineer picks the code from developer and then deploys it. From where will it pick? From where will the DevOps engineer pick? He or she will be picking it from a source code management tool like GitHub, like Bitbucket, GitLab, something like that. So a DevOps engineer should be good with Git and GitHub. So if you are a college student, if you're someone who is just starting with DevOps, Git and GitHub is a very good place to get started with. And I think if you know Git and GitHub, you can get access to a lot of code, you can get access to a lot of applications. So after learning Linux, it's very, very important to learn Git and GitHub as well. Now once you have the code, now that code which is present in GitHub repository, wherever, that has to be run somewhere, right? If you run on a Windows machine, it will be having some Windows related configuration. If you run on a Linux machine, the Linux is a different operating system, it will be having Linux related configuration. Mac OS has a different story. So what will happen to that application? That application, the code that you want to deploy, it should be running on each and every machine irrespective of their operating system. How does that happen? That is happening because of Docker. Docker allows you to package your code, to containerize your code, so that that code becomes very easy to deploy, becomes very easy to, ship. That's why if you see the symbol of Docker, the logo of Docker, it's a whale. It's kind of a ship which is carrying containers. And what are these containers representing? These containers representing applications. Okay. So in phase one, in the journey of becoming a DevOps engineer, you should be knowing the introduction to DevOps, why you are learning DevOps, should be knowing Linux for DevOps, Git, GitHub, source management, and then go to Docker. Till here, how many of you are getting an idea that, okay, if I want to become a DevOps engineer, if I have this journey of becoming a DevOps engineer, this is the starting point. If you go forward, there will be a lot of things coming, but this is the entry point. So many of them ask ki, I want to become a DevOps engineer, but I don't know where to start from. So start from Linux, start from Linux command, start from GitHub command, get the code from GitHub, try to package that code, build that code using Docker. So if you do these three or four things, you're good to get started with DevOps. Okay, I can see Nitish has joined, Anurag has joined. That's great. So, and at the same time, you should also be making some projects. Let's say you learned Linux, make a project on shell scripting. Let's say you learned GitHub. Try to complete online assignments on GitHub. Let's say you learn Docker. Try to solve interview questions, quizzes related to Docker, LinkedIn assessment test related to Docker, a lot of things. So, whenever you are starting your journey of DevOps engineer, also try the have your aim towards the interview as well. That hey, I also have to crack interviews, so that would need projects, that would need assignments, that would need some interview questions. So take that thing in mind. Once the beginners phase is completed, you go to the phase 2. In phase 2, there are even more advanced concepts. Even more advanced concepts like Jenkins, Kubernetes, AWS Cloud, Terraform. Now, what are these tools? So, if you see the symbol, the logo of Jenkins, it's a butler who is waiting for your order. And now think that if you give your order to someone and that someone is bringing that thing, if you give an order to a butler saying that hey, bring this thing for me, and also bring some ice, also bring some chips, and also bring some food and things like that, and he's bringing that. Imagine the same as a DevOps engineer doing to your application and code. A DevOps engineer can configure CI/CD pipelines where code can be, pulled from GitHub, built using Docker, and then deployed. And that way, you can easily automate the, continuous integration and continuous deployment of your application. That is the reason why it is called CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. And that is why one should definitely learn Jenkins. Once you know Jenkins, then comes Kubernetes. Now, why to learn Kubernetes and what is Kubernetes? So, if you see the symbol or the logo of Docker, it's a ship having containers. And if you see the symbol of uh, Kubernetes, it's a steering wheel of a ship. So if you have more than one containers, how will you manage those containers? If one of the container fails or crashes, how will you revive that? How will you auto heal that? If there's a lot of traffic coming to a container, how will you scale it? Just like Hotstar, if there's a lot of people coming to watch Dhoni, watch Kohli, watch Rohit Sharma, how will you scale that application? And that happens using Kubernetes. Also, there are many other ways to scale, but Kubernetes is one way. So this is a tool which every DevOps engineer currently in market needs. So if you learn Kubernetes, there's a lot of demand in market. Now AWS cloud is basically every no one now has on-premise system. Now what is an on-premise system? On-premise servers or systems are, let's say you have your home, and in that home you have set up a lot of computers, and those computers are connected and you are hosting your application there on premise. But who will take care of the AC, who will take care of the light bill, who will take care of the maintenance? No one can do that. That's why you have online cloud service providers like AWS, like Azure, like GCP. Okay, but AWS is the market leader. That's why a lot of people are moving towards AWS. So a lot of job openings are also coming for AWS. Hence, you should be learning AWS as well. Now, what happens in AWS? What do we do on AWS? We create a server, we create a database, we create a bucket, we create a lot of resources. But how do we create that? We create that manually. I go to AWS, I write a command, or I go to the console and I create a server. I can make a mistake in creating manually. That is why we write code. And if you want to create an infrastructure from code, we can use tools like Terraform. So, what is Terraform? Terraform is a tool used to create an infrastructure using code. And that is why these are a bit advanced concept, but every DevOps engineer in the market should be aware about this. Else, there are very less opportunities. If you are aware about these, you will get daily calls, you will get a lot of LinkedIn requests saying that, hey, we need someone who is good in Kubernetes, we need someone good in Terraform. So you should be, once you have the entry point clear, then you should be going to phase 2, where you will be learning Jenkins, Kubernetes, AWS, Terraform. Okay, let's take some questions. Can you share what project we should build and what showcase so we can land a job? Definitely. Towards the end of the session, I'll be sharing my YouTube channel where I have a lot of projects going on. One thing, sir, these cloud services are paid to use. How can we practice and create projects? So, AWS has something known as free tier account. So, free tier for 1 year, if you're a new AWS user, it is free for 1 year. For AWS, it's free credits, free tier. For Azure, it is also something known as Azure credits. So you can use that as well. So all these are ways to get free credits. Okay, nice. Now, phase 3. Once your application is deployed, it has to be monitored. It has to be, observability should be there. If your application is scaling well, if your errors are coming, if your application is down, it should be monitored. So that is why you need tools like Grafana, Prometheus, that allows you to monitor your applications. And once you monitor the applications, you can also build live projects. Okay, once you build live projects, you can showcase them on LinkedIn. You can build a resume, build projects, and then you can make a career in DevOps. Because now what you have an entry point which will get you into DevOps. You have the necessary tools in phase 2, where you learn them, you get a good understanding of the automation tools, then you make projects, and then you publish it on LinkedIn, and then you get a job. Okay, so this is a blueprint which I have given you to get a job in DevOps and cloud. If you do these services, if you make projects, if you are good on LinkedIn, if you have a good resume, this will definitely help you. This is a proven roadmap which has helped a lot of students in the past. But you were talking. Yes, yes, Abhishek.
Yes, actually, I have a personal question. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I got this from some of my, I will say, students. Those are working
Mhm.
with me. Like, I will just display that question in your experience. What are some of the most common
Mhm.
misconceptions people have about AI in DevOps and cloud? Like there were
Okay.
some rumors like ऐसे होता है DevOps में ये नहीं होता वो नहीं होता. But yes, what will you share and suggest about that?
Okay. So one of the misconception is that if you don't know coding, you should go into DevOps. But the reality is, uh, in every tech related job, if you are an engineer, you have to write code at some point of your life, be it scripts, be it SQL, be it some kind of configuration files, be it Python script, shell script, any kind of script, you have to code. So a lot of misconception says that I don't know coding, I'll go to DevOps and then my life will be easy. It's not like that. You have to know code, but it's not also like that. In development, how much code you require, DevOps is same. No, no, development requires a lot of logic building, system design, and a lot of competitive programming, DSA algorithms. But in DevOps, you don't need that level of knowledge of DSA algorithms. But yes, basics of coding, if else, for loops, these are very important.
Okay, and this was like could you share some common challenges that those are faced by students, not only professionals, uh, but mostly by the students?
So one of the common challenge which I face, which the student faces, they know that there is AI. Okay, there is ChatGPT, there is OpenAI, there is everything, but they don't know how to integrate it. They have no projects, they have no skills in integrating it. They don't know how to integrate APIs. They don't know how to integrate models. So these are the biggest challenge, that there are these being new. So ChatGPT came a few months back. It's settling in, and the documentation is also not very nice if you want to make a lot of projects related to DevOps. So that's one of the challenges, that it's new in the market. AI has been there since 1950, but nowadays it is picking up. So being at a stage where AI is the generative AI part is new, so we are lacking documentation, we are lacking examples, we are lacking projects which are already there. So these are a few challenges. And
Okay,
I
and
think there's a question. Yeah.
yes. We will take the question first. I will display it on the screen.
If we learn these tools and build some projects, and we are fresher and not working experience, what should be our resume and how to apply as a DevOps engineer as fresher? So I had, in my website trainwithshubham.com, blogs. I had written a blog where I had shared a fresher resume, so you can have a look at that as well. So tools, AWS is closed source. I am scared to learn it because can be changed anytime by the company. How do I face this fear? So why to fear this? AWS is a cloud platform which gives you free credits. So if you have something free to use, you can experiment around it. Okay, and anyways, you can, being a student, there is always a option of calling the AWS people and asking for assistance, asking for help, asking for if you get a bill from AWS, you can even get it waived off if you are a student. So they are that flexible with that. So don't fear
And
any tool,
definitely,
be it open source, closed source. Never fear it.
and definitely, you can contact Shubham Bhaiya for the same if you are feeling with
Yeah,
any
yeah.
tool.
So on my YouTube channel, I have all these tools covered. On trainwithshubham.com, all of these tools are getting covered. So you can, anytime you can reach out to me.
Okay, and
So
there was one more question can you explain in short about the concept of continuous integration?
continuous integration means, imagine that I have written a code, and that code needs to be deployed. Now, a developer has written the code, and now again he has pushed the code. Now, again, that has to be deployed. But how will I deploy every minute? If let's say there is a code bug, there is an error in the code, my entire code will be, gone. So continuous integration is a process where you have to check that whatever code developer is written, that is well tested, well integrated with the system. And if it is well integrated, then only it goes to the deployment stage. And that is why it is known as CI/CD. So if you see this, that is why it is called CI/CD. The CI stands for continuous integration. If the continuous integration is passed, then only it goes to CD, continuous deployment. And generally, Docker is used for this, because if a Docker file is getting created, you can write some test cases around it. If it works, then it's CI integrated. Now, once you have a phase 3 clear, the question comes that what about AI/ML? You were saying that in the era of AI/ML, how will I get a job? So very simple
Hmm.
thing. Is it new? Is AI new? So the simple answer is no. AI was launched in 1956. Why is it trending now? The reason is the data. AI, when it was launched, it did not have data to process, to do predictions. But now that we have a lot of data coming in, we are sitting on a oil, a big tanker of data. And now that we have good computation power, good skills, good documentation, good tools coming in, AI is now getting trending. Because we have data, we can do predictions, we can do generations. And that is why AI is nowadays trending. What are types of data AI? We have general AI, we have super intelligent AI, we have, when you say general AI, in general practices, let's say machine learning, things like that, we use that. But super intelligent AI is something which is not yet seen by anyone. When I say super intelligent, it means kind of it can surpass human intelligence. So we don't have super intelligent AI right now. But there is something known as generative AI. So what is generative AI? So based on your past data, it kind of generates new data. So chat GPT is an example of generative AI. DAL E or Mid Journey is an example of generative AI. So based on past data, it is now generating new data, generating new images, generating new chats. Okay. So should we be scared of that? Because we as humans do the same, right? We read a book or read something and then we generate something new. Artificial intelligence is doing the same. Should we be scared of it? The reality is you shouldn't be. Use AI as an assistant to learn the tools, to make the projects, to do the LinkedIn search, do the marketing, do everything which you could not do it with the help of AI. I will be showing you one simple uh, example. So if you go to Chat GPT and if you write something like act as a DevOps engineer and give me a roadmap to learn DevOps engineering so that as a fresher I can as a fresher I can get a job in the same. So okay, understand the basic, learn Linux. So whatever I told you, Chat GPT is basically telling the same. Learn infrastructure as code, learn about containers, learn about CI/CD, learn about monitoring, learn about cloud platforms, collaborations, build a portfolio, do certifications, apply for jobs, networking. And this is the roadmap which ChatGPT gave you, which I took 30 minutes. ChatGPT gave it in just 1 minute. But the best thing what you can do is act as a DevOps engineer interviewer and ask me questions related to DevOps for a fresher interview. And this will give you some interview questions. And this interview questions you can, reverse engineer. You can learn these things. Explain the difference between continuous integration, continuous zero. Try to learn these interview questions. Try to understand why these are the questions that were asked. And you can even say that also share answers for the same. And this way, using I am teaching myself DevOps. So in the era of artificial intelligence and machine learning and generative AI, you should not be scared of getting a job. You should be even confident that now I have everything on my fingertips. Now I can do whatever I want. I just have a assistant who is there to help me out in my journey, and I don't need to fear. I have everything at my fingertips. Let's say I want to create a project. So act as a senior DevOps engineer and give me project ideas that I can showcase for DevOps interview. Okay. Now it will give you some project ideas, that CI/CD pipeline for a web application, infrastructure as code for a multi-tier application, monitoring system, Dockerized microservices, log aggregator, security scanning. So all these projects, if you do, that will help you a lot in the DevOps interview. Now you can even tell them that, can you share road map for project 1, including the process and notes. So it will take the project 1, which is the CI/CD pipeline, and then it will tell you how to create that project. So in the era of artificial intelligence, the career in DevOps and cloud is much more easier to pursue. You know the roadmap, you know there are openings, you have the resources with you, and you just have to go with it. You just have to nail it.
Right. It's like kind of a smart work, and lots of things
Exactly.
are
So you don't have to fear
lots of
AI. So
resources are available easily.
absolutely. So all you have to do is write good prompts. And many people
Hmm.
had this doubt that AI will take away all the jobs. So the next picture will tell
Right.
you the reality. Employment rate of India in 2023. So when COVID hit Indian market, the employment rate was 40.9%. When the first wave finished, the digital market boomed. The employment rate spiked up to 42%, 43%. When the first wave, second wave came, the employment rate has been increasing a lot. Currently the employment rate from July 2020 to January 2023 is increased by 3%, which means everyone who is coming into IT or coming into finding a job, there are more chances of getting employed, which were lesser back then. So, in the world of AI/ML, the world of digital economy that we have, digital India, digital world that we are having, we are heading to, there is a lot of scope in getting, employment. And if you see the next picture even more clearly, you will get even more confident. This is the founder of OpenAI, um, ChatGPT, creator of ChatGPT. If anyone can
Yes,
guess
right.
his name, Sam Altman.
Actually,
Now,
it was
what
this
he,
picture was very
yeah,
famous when it was released.
yeah.
This picture
So
became
what
very
is he
famous when it
doing?
was released.
Correct. So what is he doing with Modi ji? So Modi ji is someone who knows Man Ki Baat, and they know that people are afraid of AI. Now he wanted to know that what is AI doing, what is ChatGPT doing, and with their smile, it is very clear that no jobs are going to be, taken away. There won't be any robots running on the streets. There won't be something like that, but there will be new jobs coming. If you search for prompt engineering salaries, you will be shocked to see what is the salary of a prompt engineer. If you will see ML ops, this is a new field. AI ops is a new field under DevOps. So a lot of automation is coming along, a lot of new things are coming along, and that is making the wave of new jobs, new career opportunities. So never be scared of AI. There are a lot of new openings coming, lot of new opportunities coming. And that's it from my side. If you have any doubts, any questions, feel free to ask me. Feel free to drop your questions on my LinkedIn, email, whatever.
Yes, sir. Actually, can you just clarify about what is a prompt engineer? What
So prompt
is the
engineering,
basic role?
you saw this thing, right? How
Mhm.
I was writing, act as a senior DevOps engineer, give me
Right,
this, show me that. So these are known as prompts, which I give to AI. Now,
right.
a person who talks to AI is talking through prompt. A person who talks to AI in the most efficient manner, in the most engineering way possible, that's a prompt engineer. A prompt engineer can design prompts, can develop LLM models, can do a lot of things around AI that is required in the market. And that is why the salary of prompt engineer is around 2.5 crore, something like that. So they're paid heavily.
That's huge.
So
That's
yeah,
actually
that's
huge.
yeah, it's true. So
Also,
I have, I
there.
think, yeah.
Yes, please complete. You complete
No,
first, then we
I
will ask
saw
you.
Anurag's comment saying that you can share some resources and also blogs, links, and all.
Yes,
So,
actually, I was having one more question like that.
uh
When a student is in fourth year or third year, I will say, that's the time when he actually decides in which field he wants to go. Because at
correct.
that time, he start creating his projects, internal projects, I will say, or also final year project. So
Okay.
there is a misconception I will say for now that you should not directly get into AIML or you should not directly get into DevOps as a
Not
fresher.
like that.
First,
No,
take some
no.
experience as a Java. What would you suggest? Is it right?
When I was learning data science, everyone was like, first take 5 years experience and then go into data science. But
Right, right,
how to get 5 years experience? So there's this loop. I need a job. So, but for job you need experience. So for experience I need a job. So this is a
that's the
very
loop.
deadly loop. But there are a lot of companies who understand these problems, and that's why they offer internships. And anyone who is looking for an internship should be going to these, startups, these early age startups where they need
Right,
young people, they need dedicated people. And never
right.
be under this misconception that only senior people can go into AI ML DevOps. No, not at all. I have helped more than 100 students to get their first job as a DevOps engineer. So a lot of openings are there. If you just check this, I have a job portal. If you go to trainwithshubham.com, there's a job portal I have. Job portal. If you just check the job portal, and if you put minimum experience 1 year or something like that, you will find that associate trainee, AWS cloud engineer, trainee engineer DevOps, DevOps engineer intern, DevOps engineer, again Hyderabad remote 0.1. Wherever it is 0.1, it means fresher. Trainee
Right.
engineer fresher remote, and updated on 12th October. Hotel Key Nagpur DevOps intern. Okay. Remote DevOps intern. DevOps intern. So a lot of openings are coming. A lot and lot of openings are coming for DevOps. Just that you have to understand that for these kind of openings, you need skills. You need a lot of skills, and you can also go to my channel, Train with
Can you
Shubham,
share this
and
link, Shubham, sir?
yeah, definitely. You just have to go to trainwithshubham.com. I'll share it on your chat, and you
Yes.
can check the videos here. And if you can go to the playlist, you will find that two-tier application deployment, DevOps CI/CD project, free Terraform data DevOps projects, Linux. So everything which is needed for a DevOps engineer, it's there on my channel. You can just go and have a look.
Also, we have one more question from Anurag. Sir, it is
Yeah.
required to build some major projects, or if we build basic working projects, can it work to get a job?
A basic project is also fine if you know CI/CD. If you know the concepts, you're able to display. If you're able to showcase the concepts that are for DevOps, that's more than enough. You don't need a big three-tier application deployment with everything. No, Docker, Jenkins, Kubernetes, more than enough.
Okay, that's great. Uh, Guys, if you have any more questions, ask your questions to Shubham sir.
But yeah, I really liked Anurag. I think he's quite interested in DevOps.
He's very active in the chats too.
Nice, nice, nice. Definitely, Anurag, do connect with me if you wish to learn more, if you wish to explore more on DevOps. And I think that's all from my side. I really enjoyed being here. If you have any questions, you can ping me on LinkedIn. My name is Shubham Londhe. You can find me on LinkedIn. And yeah, let me
Share
know
the
if you
link.
have any questions.
Just a minute, I will share the link itself in the chat.
Perfect.
Okay, so here is the LinkedIn profile of Shubham sir. You can connect with him. Okay, so thank you very much, Shubham sir, for joining with us and sharing your valuable thoughts and experiences you have you have got till now. Uh, it's really glad
Thank,
to have you on SWOC. I hope
thanks a lot.
lots of students must have learned and got their vision clear about DevOps.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Abhishek.
Okay, then let's wind up the session. Mm, let's connect, contribute to open source, DevOps, all the best. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All the best.